Have you ever noticed that the moment you sit down with nothing to do, your brain suddenly whispers, maybe you should get a snack? You might not have been hungry a few minutes ago, but somehow the idea of opening the fridge feels incredibly tempting. Many of us have experienced this strange urge to eat when we're bored, even after we've already had a full meal. It can feel confusing. Why does boredom make us hungry? Is our body actually asking for food, or is something else happening behind the scenes? As it turns out, boredom eating isn't really about hunger at all. It's about how our brains search for stimulation, comfort, and reward when there's nothing else capturing our attention. Let's explore, right here, on History of Simple Things. To understand why boredom can trigger hunger, we first need to understand how real hunger works. True physical hunger is controlled by a complex system involving hormones, the brain, and the digestive system. When your body needs energy, your stomach releases a hormone called ghrelin, often referred to as the hunger hormone. Ghrelin travels through the bloodstream to the brain, signaling that it's time to eat. At the same time, your blood sugar levels may drop and your stomach may start to growl. This kind of hunger develops gradually and usually disappears after you eat a satisfying meal. But boredom hunger feels very different. It can appear suddenly, often for specific foods like chips, cookies, or sweets, and it tends to happen even when your body has enough energy. The reason boredom makes us want to eat has a lot to do with how our brains handle stimulation and reward. The human brain is wired to seek interesting, engaging experiences. When we're busy, focused, or entertained, our brains are actively processing information and releasing chemicals that keep us alert and satisfied. But when we're bored, the brain becomes understimulated. It doesn't like that feeling, so it starts looking for something, anything that might bring a sense of excitement or pleasure. Food, especially tasty or sugary food, is one of the quickest and easiest ways to activate the brain's reward system. When you eat something delicious, your brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. Dopamine is the same chemical involved when we experience things like winning a game, hearing good music, or receiving a compliment. From the brain's perspective, eating tasty food is a quick and reliable way to feel better. So when boredom hits and the brain is searching for stimulation, it often remembers that food provides a fast reward. That's why you might suddenly crave snacks when scrolling through your phone, watching TV, or sitting around with nothing interesting happening. Another reason boredom leads to eating is that food provides something psychologists call sensory stimulation. Eating involves taste, smell, texture, and movement. Even the act of chewing can give the brain something to focus on. When you're bored, these sensations can temporarily fill the mental gap created by the lack of activity. In other words, food becomes a way to occupy your mind and body. Instead of sitting with the uncomfortable feeling of boredom, people often reach for snacks simply because it gives them something to do. Emotions also play a role. Boredom is not just the absence of activity, it's often accompanied by a subtle feeling of dissatisfaction or restlessness. Humans naturally want to escape that feeling. Food can provide a quick emotional shift. Comfort foods in particular, like sweets, salty snacks, or rich meals, can temporarily improve mood by triggering the brain's pleasure pathways. Over time, the brain can start to associate boredom with eating, turning it into a habit. Eventually, the moment boredom appears, the brain automatically suggests food as the solution. Modern environments make boredom eating even more likely. In the past, finding food required effort, hunting, gathering, cooking, or preparing ingredients. Today, food is available almost everywhere and at any time. Snacks are often designed to be extremely appealing, combining sugar, salt, and fat in ways that strongly activate the brain's reward circuits. This means that when boredom strikes, there is almost always something nearby that can satisfy that craving within seconds. The easier food is to access, the more likely we are to use it as entertainment. Interestingly, research suggests that boredom eating may also be linked to how people perceive their sense of purpose or engagement. When people feel mentally stimulated, challenged, or interested in what they're doing, they are less likely to snack mindlessly. But when activities feel repetitive or meaningless, the brain searches for alternative stimulation. Food becomes an easy substitute for excitement or novelty. However, it's important to note that boredom hunger doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It's actually a very normal human response. Our brains evolved to seek rewards and stimulation because those behaviors helped our ancestors survive. In ancient environments, finding high-energy foods like fruits or nuts was beneficial. But in today's world, where snacks are abundant and boredom is common, the same instincts can sometimes lead us to eat more than we actually need. The key difference between real hunger and boredom, hunger lies in awareness. True hunger builds gradually and can be satisfied by almost any nourishing food. Boredom hunger, on the other hand, often appears suddenly and tends to crave specific comfort foods. Recognizing this difference can help people pause and ask themselves a simple question: am I actually hungry, or am I just looking for something to do? So the next time boredom sends you wandering toward the fridge, remember that your body might not be asking for calories. It might simply be asking for stimulation. Your brain is looking for something interesting, rewarding, or engaging to replace the dullness of the moment. Food just happens to be the fastest solution. Understanding this can help you recognize the difference between true hunger and the mind's search for entertainment, revealing that sometimes the craving for a snack is really just the craving for something more interesting to do. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.